illuminated sign on that courthouse up there, so people know.
Okay, we are live. Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Hamlin Conservation Advisory Board. Call the meeting to order. We do a roll call. Cheryl?
Yeah, Clark Mahaney,
Here,
Janine Klopp, here. Steve Rutherford,
Here.
Carrie Whipple. Here.
All right, thank you. Are there any additions or corrections to the last month's minutes?
I'll make a motion that we can approve the
Okay, motion.
Conservation Advisory Board minutes from September 25th.
All right, motion's been made. Do I have a second?
A second.
Been moved and seconded that we accept the minutes. Cheryl, can you poll us, please?
Clark Mahaney,
yes.
Janine Klopp, yes. Steve Rutherford,
Yes.
Carrie Whipple.
Yes.
All right. Please turn off all cell phones. The exits are on either end of the building, with the handicap exit being on the far side and the AED being located right across the hall from us. If there's any questions during the meeting, feel free to ask. All right, we'll move into our public forum and reports. Janine, do you have a planning board from us?
I'm just turning on my phone. Change.
I turned the ringer off on mine, couldn't figure out how to turn it back on.
I usually do that, and
Everybody was calling me and I was getting no.
They've upgraded my phone or something, and it does, I don't recognize what I was looking at. Planning board meeting. October 2nd. The first thing was a public hearing for Laura Spalte at 2898 Roosevelt Highway. She's seeking a special use permit for a single apartment and a single family home. She presented herself to the board and she wants to put an addition on her home for her two boys to live in. We have 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, etc. And she'd like to, at some point, sometime collect money from her sons. The public hearing was open, no one was present to speak, so the public hearing was closed. The only stipulation that the attorney had was that this can only be rented to families. There weren't any other comments from any of the other board members. It's a type 2 action under seeker. So, the board granted the application. The next thing was an agenda item, Conservation Corridor Development Permit for Ron Balder, Jeffrey Agent, of 5758 West 15 Palm Beach Road. They have a deck, just a deck, that's all that's on this piece of property. It's within 100 feet of Lake Ontario. They just wanted the deck so they can sit out there and look out onto the lake and relax. They did have to get a CHOP, Coastal Erosion Hazard Area permit from the zoning board, which they have received. And it's a type 2 seeker, so there were really no issues. I looked at this, and so the planning board granted the application. The next item on the agenda was a property split merge for properties located at 828 and 838 Chase Road. One of the applicants owns land on the north and the west side of Chase Road, and the other applicant parcel on the northeast corner that is landlocked. So the first applicant, and his part of Holcomb, is going to sell property to J. Kurtz, and still retain his own land on the south side. I didn't have any comments about it. The planning board chairman recused himself, I guess he had some familiarity with this, so, Dave Martin was the chair for this particular application. He asked if it was gonna be farmed, and this is just tying some woodland together. It's a type 2 seeker, it does not need a public hearing, so the planning board granted that application. And the last thing on the agenda was a conservation corridor development permit from Matthew Trippy, 89 Ross Cove. He had a deck on the back of his house, and he removed that and made a larger deck, and it was within 100 feet of Sandy Creek, so that's why he conservation development permit. The DEC did get involved with this. There were some fees that had to be paid. It's a type 2 seeker. So the board didn't have any other issues, and it was approved. For discussion, I mentioned that we would be losing a member of the conservation board. Town board member Phil Holbrook just mentioned that they do budget reviews. The planning board commented on the poster boards, which are right there, for Scout Park, and we'll look at that, see if they had any comments or suggestions. And they were asked to provide comments on the Nancy Creek restoration project, which we had talked about in our meeting. And so they perhaps, I don't know if this happened, we'll find out when we do a zoning workshop report, that some members of the planning board were planning on going to that to talk about some of the issues related to this Nancy Creek restoration project. And that is the planning board.
All right, thank you. Next up was meeting with the Fish Advisory Board. We met on 10/16. There's nothing new with the website development. Some of the things that are happening with the fish is they're using DNA out in the lake to track the hatchery fish versus wild fish. I don't know how they do that, but I guess they have the technology to be able to tell which fish is which according to the DNA sample they collect, and they're able to track that fish, if it's a hatchery fish, back to the hatchery that it came from.
They must test the DNA of all the fish, hatchery fish, so they know who they are.
Yeah.
And then tie it back.
Yeah.
If nothing matches, I guess they have to assume
Yeah.
it's natural.
A report on what we call the predator prey scenario out in the lake. Everything seems to be well balanced. The biomass is on an uptick. However, the size of the fish, the Chinook salmon, the coho salmon, the trout, they all seem to be going down and shorter. And so what DEC is going to do is they're going to do a caloric study on the aloe-lights in the lake to see if that may be part of the problem. Since the predator prey is on the uptake, there will probably be a raise in stocking levels in 2024. There was a meeting with a majority of the charter captains that fish out on the lake, and their main topics and what's on their mind was gas prices. Second was there are no younger captains taking over the fishing business. There's just none going out and deciding this is the life for me. And smaller fish. And let's see, there'll be another Niagara Expo this year. And the reef for the lake trout spawning is still being looked at. Okay, that brings us to the EMC meeting. It was a very long, action-packed meeting. We had a person from the Monroe County Parks, Bob Keeley, come in and do a presentation, and I just wrote down some rough things that may be interesting. Right now, Monroe County owns 1,200 acres of parks. There's 23 different parks and 32 different athletic fields, 3 golf courses, 3 dog parks, 3 off-road cycling / ski trails, and they're making a bunch of pickleball courts. One of the other things that they're under their control is the zoo. There's been a $16.6 million investment into the park for various renovations, such as the restrooms, playgrounds, new pavilions, paving, handicap access. And I didn't know that out at the Ontario Beach State Park, there is a synthetic ice rink.
Oh, yeah, that's new.
And it's brand new. And he explained a little bit about it, that it's a gigantic sheet of plastic that heals itself. And he says, you can't tell it from ice other than it's not cold.
Is it seasonal, do you know?
No.
You can use it all year round?
According to him, it was all year round.
My brother built one in his basement for his kids.
Did he?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Sure they love it.
Oh, I got,
Sure they love it.
My kids love it, but.
great, at least they're getting used. I have 8 new pickleball courts being built. And it seems to be one of the fastest growing sports in Monroe County. As soon as they dig the site, there's people there every day seeing how it's coming along. And just as soon as the paint's on the court, there's people waiting to get on it. And he thought that was pretty neat. Genesee Valley Park has a synthetic pitch and putt golf course. They're also upgrading the boardwalks, and they have a meadow restoration project where they are planting nothing more than naturalized grasses in there, and natural pollinators or natural flowers, wildlife flowers, whatever, for the pollinators. There's a lot of conservation efforts going on at the zoo right now. Some of them include bats. Of course, they got brand new void draft, and they have a baby on whale already. somebody mentioned that there was a fish killed down in the Genesee River, but I couldn't find anything about it. Our guy on the, Natural Resources Committee has resigned and is no longer with the board, and he has, significant health problems. So that position just opened up, and no, I'm not applying for it. That's a lot of work. The other person that spoke was the Climate Action Plan person. Her name is Madison. And she just needs some input and things on it. And there's a grocery gift card raffle, and it's all on their website. Her name is Madison, and that's about all I could tell from her. And that was about it. Last week, Janine and I went and got trees. We got some nice trees. We got some pin oaks. We got some sugar maples. We got a black gum.
Black gum?
A black gum tree, and it was funny because the park department said in their planting of the natural trees, black gum was one of the trees that they were replanting. And of course, we got another sycamore tree, and these are all native to, and we spent $783.96 out of our budget.
Is that from Sarah's?
Sarah's, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, so, okay, that takes us to Clark.
I had nothing, I didn't attend the meeting and I couldn't get, minutes.
Alrighty. And was there a zoning board?
I'll do the zoning board report.
Okay.
Minutes here. So there was one public hearing for Jared Camilla at 5889 West Potomac Beach Road. They were seeking variance to have more than one accessory structure on the property. It sounds like they bought a greenhouse from Costco, and they're gonna move a shed and put the greenhouse in that same spot. There were no public comments, and the motion was carried by the board. On the agenda, there was just one item on the agenda. It was for Jeff Ivey and Ann Teeter at 14 Lake Road, East Fork Road. And they were seeking an area variance to have more than one accessory structure on the property as well. And I guess they're trying to do a shed on the marina side of the property. It would be about 12 by 20. And so the public hearing was scheduled for November 20th.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Dean, we have a friends report.
Well, as of the middle of the month, admission into the park is now free every day until midnight. On October 19th, Hamlin Beach State Park was inducted into the Medina Sandstone Hall of Fame. And you're aware that pretty much all of the shelters and buildings are made from Medina Sandstone, so it's very fitting. They've added an environmental educator, added to the staff at the park. I'm not sure exactly what her role is, but we'll find out as time goes on. Shelter 1 will be open throughout the winter, as it has been in the past, and bathrooms at the visitor center, which is a small little kiosk before you go into the camping area. So visitor center bathroom, area 1, an area for bathroom will remain open through the winter. 360 ash trees need to be cut down and removed from the park, we number them in the campground. 35 new trees have been planted to date, but there's many more planning, they're planning to plant many more after that. And that was, that's
All
it.
right, thank you. One of the things that, the park guy, stated that they were making the beach mats for the handicapped people.
Yep,
And they had just purchased two of them to get handicapped people for Ontario Beach.
over Ontario Beach,
Ontario Beach.
Ontario, okay.
Yep,
That's
their
good.
park, but they got their idea from the state park.
And I think that I mentioned before that, it was through the Friends Group that we got the grant to pay for the moving mats. It's something that grants are through Friends Groups.
All right, zoning workshop, anybody?
It was canceled.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We did a lot this year, though. We did a lot of town board, revamping, changing, and altering, laws. So, just home, there's nothing pressing at this point.
So do you think there will be any more through the end of the year?
That I can't say it. I can't determine that until.
Okay.
All righty, thank you. That concludes this portion of the meeting, and we'll move right into the Hamlin Waterfront Committee.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the first part of the meeting.
Okay.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we adjourn this portion of the meeting. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. We'll move right into the Hamlin Waterfront Committee.
We can turn the sheet over. There were 3 referrals that I dealt with. The first one was at 7048 Benedict Beach Road, a generator. There were no issues with that. It's consistent. There was another generator at 7032 Benedict Beach Road, so it's just like the road from the first one, and the same thing. Issues with LWRP. 14 Lake Road, Eastport is the one that Karen mentioned is coming up for a public hearing. I see LWRP wise, I see no reason why that's not, that it is consistent. It is consistent with LWRP. So no public hearing.
All right, thank you. Does,
Is that the same address?
Yeah, right here.
14 Lake Road,
Sorry.
okay. Here, wrong. All right, thank you. Does anybody have anything else to discuss?
I think Cheryl, I know I had sent you a couple,
Yeah,
okay.
ratings.
Yes, training. So do you happen to know, remaining for this year?
Not yet.
Okay,
Probably be mid-November.
okay.
I have to remind you.
I know I still need to do, I think, one more.
Just one more or
Like,
half?
one more or 2 more.
Yeah.
So just let me, if you don't mind, just
I
let me
will.
know.
Yeah, I'll look into it before the end of the week. So, so you can work on it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you, everybody, for coming. We have a motion to adjourn.
One second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. Carol, can you hold, please?
Mark Mahaney,
Yes.
Janine Clark, yes. Steve Rutherford,